Interview on October 11th, 2009 at East Caney Baptist Church in Hopkins County. I am Jim Conrad. This has become part of the Texas A&M University Commerce Oral History program. Thank you for agreeing to sit down and talk with us. Can you give me your full name and when you were born?
My full name is Harold Bernard Askew. I was born February the 3rd, 1925.
Were you born here?
I was born here. I'm living right where I was born, on the same location. Not the same house, but the same location.
And when you were growing up, and even now, was this area known as East Caney?
It was known as East Caney. Back then, it was known as, part of it was known as White Oak. But they had dropped the White Oak but the older people still, some of them remember that as White Oak. But all of my days, it was East Caney.
Tell me a little about your father. What he did, his occupation.
My father was a farmer and a mortician.
Oh.
My dad graduated from mortician schools in Houston, but before he was just finna open up his business, he taken sick and died. So he never did establish a business, but he did graduate from mortician school. He also served in World War I. He was when he passed, he was a disabled vet. I don't know about the company or nothing he served with, but I know he was in World War I.
Now, did you say he died early?
My dad died in like 37, yeah.
And how did your family manage without the major breadwinner?
Well, by my dad being a disabled vet, he was drawing a pension when he died. After he died, my mother continued to draw the pension. I think each kid was covered till they got 18 years of age, I think was the government paid so much per month. And as it dropped off every time whatever the elimination age was. Now, I think it was 18, maybe been lower than that. I know it wasn't any higher than that, but it would drop off every time one.
Tell me a little about his farm. What kind of crops?
We raised, back then this was cotton country. Our primary crop was cotton. Then dairy was just coming into business. They had a carnation plant and sulfur spraying milk plant, and had two processing plants. They had another one they called the cheese plant where they processed cheese. And we milked cows. Back then, and way before the milkers got it, we had to hand milk. But we always milked 12, 13, 14 head of cows. We sold milk and done a little farming. And in the fall, we would work out, mostly picking cotton locally here. All of this was cotton country, so there was plenty of cotton to be picked around here at that time.
Let's see. Tell me some of you had mentioned that you picked cotton and milked cows. What other kinds of chores did you have around the farm when you were young?
Well, the usual thing. We raised a few hogs, not for market, just for personal use. And we had chicken, turkeys, and that was about it. We didn't raise cattle to sell. We just didn't have no stocker cows like we have now. We just kept milk cows. The cows we probably kept them just for milk. But we would sell all the cows, especially little bull calves. We sell them all, one or two at a time, such as that. But we never had any large herd to take to the market.
Tell me about school. Where did you go to school when you were?
I went to school right over on this empty lot, right across over there. It was a 3-room school. Sit over there. That's where I went to school. You could go up to the 9th grade there. Then I had to go to Sulphur Spring to Douglas High for high school.
Do you have a favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject was math and history and geography. I love those 3 subjects. The rest of them I wasn't no particular about.
Now, how did you get to school?
I graduated from high school.
Graduated from high school?
Yeah, Douglas High.
And so, now, how did you get to school here? Did you walk or take
every day. I walked every day to school. About a good mile each way.
Do you remember the length of the school term?
9 months. School always started the Tuesday after Labor Day, and it would run for 9 months. We didn't have then these spring breaks and things. We didn't have. Only with school taken up, our next little break would be maybe a day for Thanksgiving, I think it'd be. Then we'd probably have 8 or 6 or 7 days between Christmas and New Year's. It depended on what day Christmas or New Year's was on. You might get 2 weeks off then. That was it. You didn't have those spring break and all that kind of stuff back then.
Now, what about picking cotton in the fall? Would your parents insist that you drop out of school to help pick cotton?
We didn't have to drop out. Back then, they had about 4 weeks of summer school. So, our school, normally schools opened up but we had already had 4 weeks. So we started 4 weeks later. They eliminated that right quick, but there was a time when here, I'm going to tell it like it was, the black schools had about 4 weeks of summer school so the kids could pick cotton. And that lasted for, I don't know how many years, I say several years, but they finally eliminated that.
Now, who would you picked your own cotton, but would you hire out to other?
Yeah. I picked cotton for 50 cents a hundred. And you had to pick cotton for 50 cents a hundred, and for a couple of years there, you had to get to the field and you had to get to where the cotton was yourself. That was your responsibility, because lots of the guys that had cotton, they picked in there.